Welcome back to Summit After the Storm podcast. I am Bart Wilbanks, and this is episode 6, Learning to Rest Without Guilt. There's something I've noticed about leaders, especially the ones who care deeply about doing things well. We don't struggle to work hard, we struggle to stop. It's not because we don't know how, but because stopping feels uncomfortable. Rest feels like falling behind, like dropping the ball, like stepping away when there's still more to do. And if we're honest, sometimes rest doesn't feel noble. It feels unnecessary. In the last episode, I shared a story about Elijah and how God didn't show up in the noise, but in a whisper. That story stuck with me because it made me wonder how often we miss what's next. Not because God isn't speaking, but because we haven't slowed down enough to notice. There's a passage I've been studying with lately, not as instruction, but more as an invitation. Matthew chapter 11, Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." What stands out to me isn't the command, it's the tone. He's speaking to people who already are doing their best, people who are tired, stretched thin, and probably carrying more than they expected. The word burden resonates because so much of what weighs us down isn't dramatic, it's cumulative. Somewhere along the way, many of us learn to associate rest with falling behind. If we pause, we might slip. If we slow down, somebody might be disappointed in us. So instead of resting, we adapt. We carry a little bit more. We stay a little bit later. We tell ourselves, we'll catch our breath once things calm down, but things never calm down, not on their own. So you find yourself sitting at your computer till 8, 9, 10 o'clock when your kids are screaming for time with their parents. Why? One of the questions I've been asking myself lately is this: what am I holding on to that I don't actually control? Outcomes, expectations, the pressure to be available, capable, and dependable all the time. And naming those things doesn't fix everything, but it does create honesty. And honesty is often where rest begins. I've started to see rest less as stopping, but more as resetting, rebooting, not disengaging, but recalibrating, not quitting, but loosening my grip. Rest in this sense is less about inactivity and more about trust. Trust that things don't immediately unravel when I step back. Trust that my worth isn't measured by my motion. Maybe rest for you doesn't look like a day off. Maybe it looks like saying no more often. Maybe it looks like asking for help. Maybe it looks like letting go of an outcome that you've been gripping too tightly. Because rest doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be honest. If you've been feeling worn down lately, you're not alone. And it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It may simply mean you've been carrying more than you realize. This week, maybe the invitation isn't to do less, but to notice more, to pay attention to where the weight is coming from, and to experiment with setting something down. For some of you listening to this podcast, it's Friday, and that means the weekend is just around the corner. So a great opportunity to actually get some much needed rest for a couple of days. Thank you for listening to Summit After the Storm, and keep climbing. Holy poly.